let's take it back.
Flashback.
Fucking, what would it have been, man? 2000 and what? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Fucking 2000 and
I was just a
14. Yeah.
I'm not equipped to do the maths,
Callum was
so I'm just going to trust.
bring it back up again. The beautiful little lesbian. And
Bro, I couldn't decide on a haircut. Thankfully, my hairline's receding now, so it's kind of made the choice for me.
yeah, like My Chemical Romance and stuff like that was popular at the time. You know what I mean?
Bro, don't talk to me about Black Parade. I wasn't listening. Maybe once or twice.
You definitely listened to
Bro.
Yeah, started back then.
I like how you go origin story and then you just immediately shit on it. So anyway, he was a little lesbian.
Yeah, that's, for me, man, that's what... That gym was where it started, like back when it was just literally just a kickboxing academy, and they rented out a bit of mat space to our first coach, man, who inspired us to do the sport, innit? Let's be honest, you know what I mean? Let's get it with her. And yeah, like
sorry, I'm just like engaged in this tale, man.
But
you're taking me back.
So it was the year 2010, maybe 11. I remember turning up, man. At the time, I was like fucking. My missus was at uni. I used to do kickboxing. I got my ass handed to me in a kickboxing fight, and then the geezer afterwards was like, "Oh, how often are you training?" And I was like, "Oh, I go to every class." He was like, "Oh, like cool, man. You like training 7 days a week?" And I was like, "No, there's 2 classes a week." And he just laughed at me, man. He was like, "Bro, what are you doing, man? Like, you should be fighting here if you're only doing that." And I remember looking for something else in the area that was full time like that. There was nothing. And then my pal phoned me up and was like, "Oh, do you remember that wrestling stuff that they do on the UFC? You know, like they're hugging each other on the floor and that. You know what I mean?" And I love the way that's how he sold it to me. You know, the sweaty dudes just like culling on the floor.
You know those guys who wear barely any clothes and wrestle on the ground?
Yeah, he was like, "Do you want to go do that?" And I was just like,
yes.
Yes! Get out of my head!
Do they provide the baby oil, or do we have to bring oil?
And you walk through the door and it's like, "Oh, who are these people, man?" Like, you know what I mean? And
oh,
then,
bro, there's nothing more intimidating than your first jiu-jitsu class.
And there was that little Polish dude, man, and I remember he was like short, like literally about 4 foot, man, and like fucking had like a beard and that, and like loads of tattoos, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go with this guy, man. Looks like he's been about, some stories." You know what I mean? And I'll never forget, man. At the time, like, big myself up time. I was a strong lad, man. I was like,
You were pretty yoked.
All I did was lift, man, because like I say, man, I had a job on that, but like all week I had just to myself, and the missus was away, so like you just train, don't you? And yeah, man, and this dude just embarrassed me, man. I remember I even slammed him, like, even though when I thought, you're not allowed to slam in jiu-jitsu if you don't know this, but like I didn't know, obviously. I remember he put me in an armbar on his guard. I didn't know what guard was at the time, obviously. Fucking, I remember swinging him up, slamming him on the floor, and I remember he just winked at me and then armbarred me, man. I was just like, never been in a submission before in my life, just be like, "Oh fuck!" You know what I mean?
Bro, it just reminds me. Those are the days where it was just like the attitudes towards submissions were, "You cannot tap to this." Everything in this moment has led to this. It's like if you tap, your destiny's ruined.
You should, like, remember it was the time as well when you walked in and there was like, "Oh, we'll book you on for a beginner's course then, or a foundation class," man. I remember walking in and seeing everybody's eyes light up, man. It was like, literally now, I recognise it now, and they were just like, mince, man. Get to try out all this shit on this dude, man.
Everyone's been beaten down on me, so I've got to beat down on the next generation.
Struggling to walk through the door, like, "Oh, watch out, lad," you know what I mean? And then getting tapped out by the 11-year-olds, and you're like, "Oh."
I was there a little bit before you, weren't I?
Yeah, I think you were about a year in before I started. Maybe longer, I don't know, man. You don't know. I know you started off in the kickboxing as well, didn't you?
Yeah, kickboxing, and then just fucking, I think it was a family, like, you get a family member who isn't a family member.
Yeah.
He was training
that touches you and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. He took me to training, and I remember, like, we did the session. Obviously I was like a teenager, so I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I've never done anything like, I've never even seen anything like it before.
And this friend of the family was
this friend
"Where
of the
are the showers?
Like,
You've got showers, right? Yeah. We're showering after this, aren't we?"
Friend of the family was like, "Hey, come down. It's just me in a garage full of men." And it's like, that sounds safe. So went down there, did that session, and then he was like, yeah, I'll see you at the next session. Went down there for the next session. Now, I've had a lot of hits to the head, so I might be like butchering the story, but as far as I remember it from my recollection, he just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I was just there in a room full of men. I was like, oh fuck, what's going to happen? I was like, it was just bro. But yeah, just loved it after that. Yeah. I got my pair of tap out shorts and a Sondico rash guard. Thought it was really cool.
Really badass.
Yeah. When shorts used to be like super baggy.
Yeah,
like there was a stage in jiu-jitsu where no-gi shorts, it was fashionable just to be like...
Yeah, but you look at the gis used to wear back in the day as well, man.
They were like fucking pajamas, where everything's become like... Remember I feel like jiu-jitsu changed around the same time as skinny jeans. Yeah. Because as soon as the skinny clove culture came in, jiu-jitsu was like, we need to look cool now.
Yeah, mate, honestly, I ripped out of about 4 pair of gi pants when they did that. And I
was there for like, I'm pretty sure every single one of those classes. Yeah. One of them was an open mat as well.
Yeah, we're just shooting a double every time, man. Like, they just literally blow the crotch out of them. We're just like always ripped down here, man, by the quads.
You know what's crazy though?
Mad.
You haven't done it since?
I know, yeah.
I've done it before where like, you know, I bought some fucking shorts from the beach, like floral ones, like proper hippie style ones. Loved them. They were like white and blue. Was wearing them, dropped into a squat too quickly and just bust the back out of them, and I was just like,
gotta take them off sometimes.
Bro, I was so upset. I was like, oh fuck, I love these.
That's when we first started, man. I remember, like, and I think this is an important thing of any like sport that you do, man. But it wasn't really so much. I got battered, don't be wrong, and like this guy with his little fringe, you know, like triangled the hell out of me continuously, man. I thought I was like a strong dude, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in the town, you know what I mean?
You were a strong dude.
Fucking having it out in chip shops and shit like that, fucking.
You were the strongest of dudes.
And then to go there and just get completely humbled by kids as well as like adults and stuff like that was like a mind opener, man. But it was the coach, man. Like that level of passion and
oh, bro, it's infectious.
Yeah, man. You could tell he loved the sport, man. Like, and just it's hard to explain. Like when somebody's that passionate about something, it's infectious, man. Like, and it wasn't so much just the sport itself that captured me, man. It was how passionate he was about it, man, that made me want to be like, I want that passion, man. I want that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and
oh, bro,
I ain't gonna lie, man. I have got it. So you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, how long have we been training now? Like what, 14?
You've been longer, so I'd say you're probably 15. If it's been 14ish for me.
Like years. And it's just like, just still training, still trying to learn new shit. I feel like people. Sometimes, I don't know, like, in my opinion, I think sometimes people kind of stop learning. Like, because like, I feel like when you become a coach, sometimes it's easy to sort of be like, I'll just teach. Yeah. And then, you know, you always think you've got the answers. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like coaching's a lot easier and a lot, I don't know. If you're actually doing it, if you're still learning, like if you're still going to, like, I feel like if you're an instructor and you're like...
Judo, I'm sorry.
Judo out.
No, I'm not, man, I'm not at all, man. I don't want no dude that's like, you know, look at Owen Livesley, man. That guy's a killer, bro, and he's Judo, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro.
J-Flow, killer. Judo, you know what I mean? It's there, man, but I'm just saying, a lot of the local... But the point I'm getting at is, you need to continuously train in jiu-jitsu. You can't just think you know it all because it evolves all the time. The games are changing all the time. What's fresh, what's popular, it's changing all the time. Whereas my argument towards judo is they seem to be doing the opposite. They take stuff out. You can't grapple at the waist anymore because in the Olympics you got wrestlers coming in and dominating. The thing is, their competition rule set. Instead of learning to overcome, they took shit out, man. And that is what are you teaching people that follow you know what I mean?
To be fair, I don't know your story, but I know like there was a lot of things like between judo and wrestling in the Olympics where they were like, it looks too similar. Yeah. So it's like, you know, maybe there's some like pressure from the fucking...
And again, like,
you know what I mean?
As soon as you take out grabbing below the legs, the techniques that do actually then come into play look fantastic.
No, that's what I mean, but it's like, they've gone for like entertainment over substance. Yeah. Like for the sport, which is like...
Because for me as well, positional control, you hit them really like, you know, those like Harai Goshis or whatever, like, you know what I mean? They're beautiful, man. And I love the way they always try and make out like, yeah, but like, you know, we're doing it to be nice to our opponent. It's like, no, you're not, because it just, I don't know, I can't
For me,
like,
it's when I see a judo guy hit a throw and it's like some massive crazy throw and then they roll off afterwards.
That's what I mean.
And I'm like, why are you programming bad habits? Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect. I've got loads of fucking bad habits in my jiu-jitsu game. Bro,
look at you talking to, bro. I'm fucking...
I have neglected guard so much. There are times where I'm laying on my back in no gi and I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck is going on? And then I just end up like wrestling up. Not because it's like I'll be like, yeah, it's because my game's wrestling up.
Yeah,
but really, it's like I haven't practiced guarding that long. When I get there, I'm like, oh my God, grab a single and do it. It's like, judo guys, it's like fucking...
But I feel like...
You take out the most effective stuff, and it's like it becomes a less effective... You've therefore made it a less effective sport, because it's like, oh, I can't grab a single leg. Okay, I've got to do some crazy throw. Okay, now you go to fight someone who's been training with all those rules. You do some mad shit that works in judo, and then the dude literally takes a step backwards, or he grabs your leg, and you're like, oh.
You know what I mean?
To be fair though, it's like when you see... What I like to see is like when you see the judo guys who come into jiu-jitsu, and they don't come in with the mentality of, I'm going to make judo work in jiu-jitsu. It's like, I'm going to use jiu-jitsu to improve my judo. And then, like, you know, play to the rules.
Yeah, a lot of them just try to avoid engagement, don't they? Like, just stall out.
Not in a negative way, but it's kind of like, you know, I think sometimes when you're really experienced in something else, it's quite hard going into something. Yeah, you're going into something that on a surface level is considered quite similar. It's grappling, you're grabbing stuff.
Yeah.
But because of the rule sets and like the freedom in each, like in jiu-jitsu compared to judo, they come in and they're like, oh God, I've done all this grappling. And a lot of it is somewhat ineffective against jiu-jitsu, and now I've got to kind of go back to being a beginner when I've maybe put 10 years into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paul Jarvis, fucking coach at Manifest. Let me tell you something. I know we're jumping ahead in time, but it also comes back to like our original gym and stuff. Because did Paul train at the original Tamworth?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So Paul trained there as well.
He gave a blue belt there and never allowed one ever again.
Yeah. And he was a judo black belt. Yeah. Competed, came into jiu-jitsu.
At the time he was brown.
Was he brown?
Yeah.
But he came into jiu-jitsu and he was like fucking really good judo, like fucking threw me about, like, because I had shit.
2 sleeves,
didn't he? I had shit stand up every time I went with him. I pulled guard.
You didn't learn to wrestle till
brown belt. Bro, literally from white to brown belt, it was just like, oh shit, got my guard pass. And it wasn't like literally every competition. My guard pass. And then I finally got to a point where it's like, maybe if I just learned to wrestle.
Yeah, buddy. I'm not gonna lie, man. I've competed a handful of times at best, man. But I have competed at every belt, I think.
I've competed a few,
bar this one. Bit. I'm new to this one, but Cal's done a little bit. Like,
I've done a little bit.
Yeah. Could say he's experienced in the area. Fucking.
I've done a few.
Cut to the picture of all his shit that he keeps in fucking bin bags.
Yeah, bro.
Callum, we need to get them out. I don't know where they are, bro. We need to do a seminar picture.
The scrap, there was a scrap man outside my house the other day. And he was like, you know, if you do a bulk buy, like if you call me and tell me you've got like a bulk load of scrap, I'll pay you for it. And I was like, I wonder if I should take my medal.
Yeah.
I was like,
got some belts.
Times are hard. It's like it's like, you know what I could do with an extra 50 quid right now. But think of the memories.
Like, so much fucking pressure.
What are you talking about?
Like competing for the first time, man, when you go fucking white belt, and you feel like for some reason in your head you're gonna go fight fucking Van Damme or someone, you know what I mean? Like, not some other spazzy white belt.
Bro, you imagine you get there, dudes in a vest.
Yeah, man. That was fucking purple belt, that was, with that fucking massive dude, man. I was like, oh my God. But anyway, I remember like that, man. I think my first fight, I got choked out straight away, man. I think in the first, 15 seconds. Something like that. At least I remember going straight into his guard, and then, he just cross-collar choked me, because I'd only been training for about 4 or 5 months, and I was like, what is even happening? Didn't even know what had happened, man. I remember distinctly walking back to the bullpen and being like, what happened? And then hearing the guy over my shoulder going, well, I'm warmed up then, and I was like, damn.